Hey, what's up everybody? Josh Hall here, and today we're going to be talking about what I call the BMPCC6K Survival Kit. Let's take a look. This video is brought to you by The Cinemachine, teaching you how to make better videos and more money as a video producer. These courses help us to continue to make great content on YouTube, and a percentage of the profits go to charities. Check it out at thecinemachine.com. So whenever I take this camera out, I always take it with this package. Unless I'm shooting something that requires my Cinema Prime lenses, and I know that I'll have a crew and things like that. But if it's just me, or it's just me and an assistant, this is the exact kit that I use for everything. So let me go through this with you. First, obviously, is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. So this is a Magic Rig cage that I've put on it. This allows you to build out everything that I'm about to show you on here. Next is battery power. I consider having an external battery source for this particular camera absolutely essential because the internal battery really doesn't last that long. So what I've got here in the Essentials kit is I've got two V-mount brick batteries. Again, it's really nice to have an entire camera package that you really feel like you can use straight from a kit this size. So I've really tried to compact everything and whittle it down to my essentials or the survival kit, and this is what I found. So, so we've got the handle for the cage, and then we've got a mount for the monitor we can attach straight onto here. I use an Atomos Shogun Inferno. Next on the Essentials kit is one of these guys. It is a lens cleaning kit. Always keep one of those in the kit, and I have a backup one in case I run out of the wipes or other things in here. So that is definitely on my survival kit. And then at least one of these. This is a 500 gigabyte drive. You can also get 1 terabyte drives. I actually like the 500 gigabyte drives. You can get 2 of them, and then when you're done with one, you can get DIT to go and empty one of these, and then you can start shooting on your other 500 gigabyte drive. You could also have 2 1 terabyte ones, but having multiple is really nice. So that way you don't have to stop when you fill one of these up, and you can fill one of these up pretty quickly. But for most of what I do, 1 or 2 of these 500 gigabyte ones will do per day of filming, or at least a half day of filming on some bigger stuff. In the Essential kit, or the Survival kit, of course, we've got our plug-in option for the camera as a last resort. And then we've got other essential accessories. We've got the V-mount power adapter right here. This goes into the camera and then into the V-mount battery. If you are interested in any of the stuff that I'm showing here, I'm going to include links down below for your convenience. You can just go quickly check them out. You can check the reviews yourself, see if you think that these things will work for you. I can personally vouch for everything that I am talking about here. I've used it hard, and it's really held up to rigorous sets. This particular cord is from Kondor Blue. I found that it's better than some of the other ones that you'll find on Amazon that I have bought previously and they've broken. Next cable that you're going to want is you're going to want your mini XLR to XLR adapter. I use these all the time for my Sennheiser G3 wireless lav microphones. Absolutely terrific. We've got a couple different cords here. We've got a USB to USB-C for this drive when we offload onto a computer that only has a regular USB port, and then of course we have the dual USB-C, and that is going to be for going from the camera or from the drive to the camera, right? Next, we've got a few other things that I consider essential. I always carry a backup mini XLR to XLR adapter. Man, if anything happens, the wires get frayed, it gets pulled loose, you're really going to want a backup. And then this is my absolute backup right here. If anything happens to those two cables, I've got a mini to 1/8, and I can go straight into the Sennheiser wireless G3s, or of course you can adapt to you know, a bigger shotgun microphone if you're feeding a boom mic straight in the camera, which I've also done. Next, let's talk lenses. Now here's the thing, when we talk lenses, oftentimes I'll get questions from people saying, hey, but you know, I don't want to buy these lenses because they're kind of pricey. Can I use these less expensive lenses? And here's the thing. So of course you can use any kind of lens on this camera, but I kind of relate it to, you know, getting a Mustang. So what was it? I think back in the 70s, you could get a Mustang with a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, or of course, the V8, right? The 5-liter V8. So yeah, you can have a Mustang, but depending on what kind of engine you put in it, it's going to determine how well that Mustang performs. And if you're putting a 4-cylinder engine into your Mustang, then you might as well have bought a Corolla. So when we talk about lenses, it's really important to put the best possible glass in front of that sensor, because that is how the image is going to be created, through those optics. And so it's really essential that you not cut corners when you get lenses, especially if you're shooting in high resolutions like 6K. So again, I've tested this with photo lenses and it's fine, but it certainly doesn't make it sing, right? The 4-cylinder Mustangs were fine, but the V8 really made that car sing. So similar thing here, where the best possible lenses you can get are going to give you the best image quality. So I do have a nice Cinema Prime lens kit that I use for higher end stuff, but again, I really like to have an assistant camera operator and a full crew whenever I use those lenses, because they just are quite a bit more work. So what I found that really works for me and allows this camera to sing, but still allows me to shoot run and gun with this particular camera, are the Sigma 1.8 art zoom lenses. So here's the 18 to 35 Sigma art lens, and here is the 50 to 100 Sigma art zoom lens, 1.8 aperture. These are absolutely terrific lenses, and they're an absolute steal for the price that you pay. And even in 6K, these lenses allow this camera to really sing. These lenses not only allow somebody like in a one-man band operation to be able to operate this camera efficiently, but they can also fit in a case this size. So I don't have to roll up with several cases, like a big case for my Cinema Prime lenses and a case for this. Now, there are times that call for that, obviously, but if I can just come to a shoot with this, if it's just me or me and assistant, this is awesome. It's just less stuff that you have to worry about, less gear that you have to keep track of. If you're setting things down and you're going to film things, less stuff that you're worried about getting stolen. So these lenses are absolutely terrific and give you almost all of the Cinema Prime focal lengths that you'd want. 18, 25, 35, 50, 85, 100. All right here. It gives it to you at a low constant aperture of 1.8, which gives you a beautiful image out of this Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. The last things in my absolute essentials kit are filters for these two lenses. So we've got a polarizer filter, we've got a UV filter, and then we've got an ND filter in each one of these cases. Here's a pro tip for you. Label everything. When you look at things or you're asking your assistant to grab something, it's really nice to have everything labeled so that they can grab it. For instance, both of these lenses take different size filter threads for the filters that you put on the front. So I've marked them 72 and 82 millimeter. The 72 millimeter goes to the 18 to 35. The 82 millimeter goes to the 50 to 100 millimeter. I even have my SSD labeled. I've got underneath my camera labeled with my name. And I even have this case labeled as the 6K Cine package. So that way I know when I'm grabbing from all my dozens of Pelican cases, which one is going to have my camera gear in it. Now, obviously different situations will call for different tools, but I have found that this as a starting point, this is the survival kit or the essential kit, will get you to 90% of everything that you need. And then that last 10% will be various other things that a specific project is going to call for. So the Cine lenses, a boom microphone package, and things like that. So a couple of additional things that I find really helpful are, one, at least a basic rig. And I'll actually attach this onto my nice tripod and then attach the camera here so that way I can quickly detach and go shoulder mount just like that. On the back here on this shoulder pad, I have attached a V-mount battery mount, and then I can just feed that cord straight up to the camera. Again, if you want to see more on that, you can check out the rig video. One more little hack here is one of these guys. So when I can't justify bringing my matte box, one of these guys is actually really, really cool. And this is a flex lens shade. Basically, we just wrap it around the lens hood or the lens itself, and then you strap it down. And maybe I'll even do a separate video on this because this thing's kind of cool, but check that out. This thing is flexible, so you can squish it, push it down around your lens. You could, bring it down if you needed to. You can bring it up. It's really a cool little lens shade. And this could give you additional coverage outside if you're shooting, but it's compact. We can throw it on top of this kit and close it, or throw it in with some of your other stuff because it stores completely flat. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and a like and subscribe to stay tuned for more great content coming at you.